Right now on Denver 7 News at 4, Isabella Thales was killed 2 years ago near Coors Field. Now a guilty verdict for her killer. The latest on a case that has created change here in the state of Colorado.
A lot of moms don't breastfeed their babies for as long as they'd like because they don't have support when problems come up. The new program's launching to help. And as we look for ways to address climate change, why the answer to reducing carbon emissions in our air may be underground.
Plus, ballots will start going out to Coloradans this week. How new requirements will bring big changes to the blue books we get in the mail. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jason Grenauer. First at 4, some major updates tonight. A Denver man who used an AK-47 to kill a woman while she was walking her dog near Coors Field has been found guilty of first-degree murder. 38-year-old Michael Close shot Isabella Thales and her boyfriend unprovoked while they were walking their dog. She was killed. Her boyfriend was injured. Close tried to plead not guilty, claiming insanity at the time of the shooting. Prosecutors with the Denver District Attorney's Office said Close was sane during that attack. The case prompted a new state law because Close used a gun stolen from a friend. The Isabella Thales Act requires the owner of a missing or stolen gun to report it to police within 5 days. Close will be sentenced on November 4th. Elijah McClain's amended autopsy report must be released to the public by noon tomorrow. A judge made that ruling this morning. Denver 7, along with other media organizations, sued to have that report released. And here's why this is so important. According to the Adams County coroner, the original autopsy report from 2019 was amended this year based on grand jury information. That original report listed McClain's cause and manner of death as undetermined. Now, if that changes or the new information in the report in general could impact the ongoing criminal cases against the paramedics and police officers connected to McClain's death. We will have you covered as soon as that document is released on air, online, and on the free Denver 7 Plus app to break down what new information is now out and what it could mean moving forward. The RTD train that derailed yesterday afternoon and injured multiple people has now been removed from the scene. We were there today as RTD crews inspected that train and later moved it away from the crash site. This is at the corner of Sable and Exposition in Aurora. It's the same intersection where another RTD train derailed 3 years ago. Now, medics took 3 people to the hospital for treatment after yesterday's incident. About 24 were checked out at the scene. We spoke with a woman who was injured, her head and her leg, and she described those terrifying moments.
But it did feel like it was going a little bit faster, and I thought the driver would catch that because they do catch most things. 99.9% of the time they'll catch things like that, and I was like, okay, we'll be fine. And then all of a sudden it was like turbulence on a plane. I mean, I felt like I was a plane about to crash on the ground.
Now, despite this derailment injuring multiple people and closing down that intersection for hours, RTD hasn't answered many of our questions, citing an active investigation. Our Patrick Perez will have much more on this coming up in the next hour.
As the Federal Reserve keeps raising interest rates to deal with inflation, we may be starting to see some of the effects of this on the job market. The number of people filing for jobless benefits rose slightly last week. First-time applications generally reflect layoffs. The job situation has been good through the summer with nearly 2 job vacancies for every person who's unemployed. But economists worry the continued rate hikes could force companies to cut jobs, then push the economy into a recession. More than half of college seniors are worried that they will graduate into a recession, according to a new Student Loan Hero survey. So if that's the case for you or maybe someone you know, now is the time to start preparing. Experts say building a network is a great way to get your resume to stand out. You may also want to start saving any money you can right now. Use that as a cushion if that post-grad job situation is difficult and the search drags on, and work on that credit score.
Lots of people end up going into a little bit of debt when they are going into their first job, starting their career. And one of the best ways to avoid going into too much of that debt is having good enough credit.
Now, an option for some could be to have a parent or family member approve you as an authorized user on their card. He also says don't rule out remote jobs. The survey found only 23% of college seniors were interested in working fully remote, but being able to live home can save a lot of money and even open up opportunities for jobs in places that you wouldn't want to move to. But if the job market ends up being in good shape, experts say don't be afraid to be picky.
Have a feel for what things are like in that company, and whether that's going to message boards, trying to talk to people who work there currently, or other methods like that.
He says that work-life balance and company values are some of the most important things to get answers on before accepting an offer. Holiday hiring is ramping up. Target saying today it plans to hire up to 100,000 seasonal workers for its stores and distribution centers. That is similar to last year. Now, this comes after we told you yesterday that Walmart is now hiring 40,000 seasonal workers, which is far fewer than it added last year. Both companies say they plan to offer deals and price matching offers earlier this year. Expect to start seeing that happening at the beginning of October. Walmart will also start accepting returns on October 1st, which is a month earlier than normal. Airlines are looking for creative ways to address the pilot shortage. Regional airline company Mesa Airlines, which flies for United and American, saying today that it is making it easier for pilots to get in the flight hours that they need. It just bought 29 small planes. It plans to offer pilots interest-free loans to fly those planes until they've logged enough hours to fly for the airline. Now, millions of Americans think they have never had COVID, but they may just have never had the symptoms when they actually got it. How new research is finding this all really comes down to your genetics.
Also coming up, customers are flocking to Colorado for top-tier poultry. We chat with a local chicken company about their standard for quality.
My name is Nate Cadena. My roots are in southern Texas and New Mexico, preceding the United States. And Hispanic Heritage Month means to me a time where we can celebrate the beautiful diversity of Latino cultures that make this country great.